Welcome, everyone. We are beginning our gathering here today on August 26th at 2 p.m. Let's all take a nice deep breath together and ground ourselves as we take what I call our roll call. When I strike this on the third time, I'd like each woman to say her name 3 times. Jan, Jan, Jan. Did you hear that beautiful song that we played on the screen share? I'd forgotten some of those verses, and this is the sound of one voice stepping out of fear. That is us. This week, the last week, have you felt the escalation, the stair-stepping of placing you on your platform of courage and the willingness to claim fulfilling your promise? I did a program earlier this week and it was called Claiming Your Crown. I kind of like that too, but that's a different topic. So welcome everyone. I appreciate all those that are joining us today and those that came last week. We have a beautiful program for you. We have Marla Durden here. Marla, can you give a little wave here? She's the Modern Root Woman, and she will give us our sacred drop-in ritual. Then, the SOAR organization. I'm going to do a PowerPoint, and it's going to give you some structure and bones to ground some of the esoteric principles that I say for creating the new paradigm. So we're going to have a little left brain PowerPoint. How do you form a circle or a center? So you're going to see it, and that's going to help align some of these thoughts. Then we have a song by Consuelo Luz, just a very, very bright being, alchemical vocalist, a social activist, and a sound healer that I've known for years and had the opportunity to work with. Just what I call a bell, a resonant bell of truth, light, and love, a bell of change. And what's so cute is we are bells. We're women. We're bells of the ball. We are queens of the new party, and we are holding in our absolute vibrational field of courage right now. So we'll be talking about that, and some of the speakers will be talking about that, about our leadership styles and how to work through fear. And now's a good time to tell you who is with us here today, Sahar Nafal. You know her as the queen of building community in so many effervescent ways, putting women on stages, helping them overcome their fear and get into community. And she recently has had a beautiful new spiritual download. I love that language. That's our language. Just when you're not sure what to do next, there it is, if you're listening and you're asking. So she is going to bring a new framework for figuring out what type of leader you are, your personality, what the clothing is for it, and the next steps to stand on your platform of your mastery, standing in a circle with other empowered women and women helping those not quite confident to become empowered together. The theme of these two gatherings is we are better together. Then lastly, we will have a sharing. And sometimes I feel that's the most important part. We're in a webinar format, so there are certain limitations, but we've bumped it up the best we can to turn the speakers into panelists, into co-hosts. And at a certain point in the program, and I'll give you a hint in case you're in your pajamas, after Consuelo Luz sings, Lynn Sagan, our beautiful tech person, hey Lynn, will be bringing each of you in as a panelist. And we will be asking who would like to chime in, who has a question, who has an experience to share. So I've set aside some time on that. And that's so we can see your bright faces. The last time I pressed speaker or gallery and I could see your faces. And we want everyone to have a sense of that you showed up, you brought your energy. We want to be inclusive and see the community together. So you also have the option of using your finger. Anytime you want to see the speaker, the person speaking, you have that ability, or a gallery view to see everybody. And if you want to see somebody's new haircut or something, I'll give you a secret. You pin them. I always pin people. What's she look like? You know, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, and no one will know you're pinning someone. So there. I think that's kind of funny. Well, of course, because she's my precious daughter, I'm saving her to the end of the program. Her name is Katie Cercone. She is in Brooklyn, New York, so we make a straight line across of energy of the United States. She does a yoga class. Well, it's for people my age, gentle, and her Aunt Martha does it, and her mom does it at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And you can find out more about that by going on Katie Cercone at Facebook. But the other day, I almost cried. She's a yogini, a performance artist, an author, a scholastic feminist author, a curator of hip-hop events and music in Brooklyn. And as she was finishing yoga, she became a spiritual teacher in my ears through the divine feminine archetypes. So we will finish today with her beautiful, brilliant frequencies of toning Ma. And this daughter of mine was a soloist in the Santa Rosa Children's Chorus. So her voice will float us into the angelic realms. So this is also very exciting. And again, thank you for joining us today. I'd like to take just a moment. The last gathering we had was very yin, and we had Katie Ketchum talk about using music to be a leader and hold your platform. We had Lisa Young embody the divine feminine, and then we had Linda Albright talk about new sustainable ways of living. So today, with the more practical, grounded PowerPoint and figuring out who you are, we're moving more into a practical, grounded sense. So why are we having these gatherings in the first place? I myself have been prompted, actually had a beautiful intuitive reading with Sahar, and she says, you've been planting those roots down too long. You got to get your voice out and blossom. And I said, okay. So we are better together. We ignite and activate each other. We are in a pandemic where they have us in our homes, but guess what? We have more reach now than ever through the ethers, through the Zoom rooms. So I am so happy to create this opportunity to support you, to step up and lead. We all need some tweaking. We all have different strengths, and sometimes we need support to master our toolkit or the know-how to move forward. We are creating a new infrastructure system of support to keep our vibrations high in a dissolving, chaotic world, so we can be a bridge of how to co-create through our thoughts and intention, through our voice, and holding that field. It's a pretty tall order, but if you're here, you know you were born to do it, and you are in the right place. So again, thank you for coming. The concepts and templates that I'm bringing forth today, you will be able to find on Facebook, the SOAR Voice of Truth Initiative. Now, my sister Martha today said, oh, but I can't share it. And I said, this is not a public seminar. This is by invitation, by those that resonate and are magnetized to what I have initiated, and the other women who are holding their platforms with their mastery with similar resonance. You are a leader. You have done much inner healing and work. And I am here in Sahar and Katie Ketchum, and to help you get on your platform with confidence and speak and be who you were meant to be. Without further ado, we're going to drop in now into that sacred space, which is a gift of the divine feminine energy field. Marla Durden is a multidisciplinary artist, healer, and entrepreneur. She has facilitated circles and transformational life experience for individuals and groups for 20 years. I met her at the Women of Wisdom conference, and boy, does she know what she's doing. She's an interplay leader in training. Marla has performed interplay in Seattle, Toronto, Canada, Parliament of World Religions. She brings her deep connection to the spirit of the ancestors and expertise in using simple rituals, sacred geometry, quantum coherence, and the power of intention. This is my language, to create sacred space where anything is possible. And this is my introduction. She's a modern root woman grounded in truth, beauty, and love, with a huge mastery of this life, with so much to share. Please welcome Marla Durden.
Thank you very much. That's quite a build-up. Thank you so much, Jan. I'm so happy to be here with you all. As we're seeing Hurricane Laura kind of rolling in, we're a little bit dark here, so it's interesting. And I will say, I spoke to Jan earlier, and I told her I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do this earlier, as I am preparing to leave Houston, where my mother has lived, who passed away 3 months ago. Tomorrow, we buried her 3 months ago, today, actually. And in my deep grief, I realized that's what we do as women. We just show up. We bring all of ourselves. And so I'm showing up here with you to drop in as a leader, as we all are, with all of myself, knowing that all of who I am brings everything that I need. So if you wouldn't mind with me, let's take a few moments just to really bring ourselves here. Feel your feet on the floor. Feel your bottom in the chair. And allow your breath to be soft and deep, feeling yourself breathing into your belly. Into that place, the sacred womb, where all life begins. And feel your feet on the floor. Feel yourself deeply rooted. Feeling yourself sinking, being held, being loved by the earth itself. And really allow yourself to receive the support and the love that is here for you. Allowing your breath to be long and deep. You said yes. You said yes to being here. You said yes to yourself. Feel yourself relaxing into that yes. Opening into that yes. And with your feet on the floor connected to earth, just like trees. In a forest, trees can be miles and miles apart, but through the root system, through the mycelium, they can speak to each other and support each other. So in the mycelium that is the earth, that is the sacred ground that we share here through this SOAR event, feel the connection. I'm in Houston. Some of us are in Seattle, in New York. Feel the connection like a sacred grove. Though it may seem that I stand alone, I am not alone. We are together. Feel the connection. And I invite you to close your eyes if your eyes are not closed, and take in this poem that I'm going to read to you. It is when we are able to relax into ourselves, relax into and trust all of the grandmothers who have gone before us, who live within us, that we open to greater source, beauty, love, power. So I invite you to relax into this knowing, into the riverbed of your being. Riverbed. Looking through time's wide open eye, I remember what it feels like to be braided into the length of a body, to be poured into flesh form, and to breathe the exact number of breaths I have been given without ever knowing what that number is. Sometimes we wake up all at once. Every cell housed in our skin summons the way back home to now, that opens into forever without ever knowing how long forever is. Love caught me. Love without a face or even a song or word. It was love like water that caught me as I fell easily into myself, the way a riverbed catches a stone. Take a nice long deep breath in.
We now take the steps to claim to the world. Repeat with me. I am beautiful. I am beautiful. I am loving. I am loving. I am talented. I am talented. I am spiritual. I am spiritual. I am strong. I am strong. I am generous. I am generous. These envelopes were the mantra of a young woman in the grips of anorexia and bulimia who thought she didn't deserve to live. These cards that represent the vibration of the divine feminine and the letters that she wrote gave her the core determination to become these values, and we build ourselves upon these core values. Let's take a deep breath and embody these vibrations deeply, deeply into our heart. Marla, I know that you have some wonderful offerings coming up. I'm going to go ahead and spotlight you and say just a little bit about what is coming up. You're in transition, and yet in this depth of grief, some huge doors have blown open. So go ahead and talk about what you're doing, and Lynn's going to put a screen share with your beautiful flyer you created.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. My co-facilitator and myself, Tracy Joy Miller, have had the great honor of sharing our work, the restoration of joy, at Ghost Ranch over New Year's Eve of last New Year's Eve. It was very successful, and we are going to be doing it online for them starting in September. And we're very, very excited. The restoration of joy is really a transformational event, and we work with people to help not only remove the scaffolding, the rust that kind of gets in the way of life, but really help people to reconnect with that which brings us joy, and to know that joy is available even in our grief and our sadness, whatever is going on. We have the opportunity to be in joy and to find that part of ourselves that can laugh freely and can play and love and knows where we are going and who we are. So that's what I'm doing at Ghost Ranch starting next month, and I will put a link to the flyer in the chat.
Yes, be sure and do that. In fact, anyone can add links in. I encourage all the panelists and some of our guests today as well can put links in. Thank you, Marla.
Thank you.
I know that I chose the absolutely correct person for that invocation. That's usually the part I do, so handing that over. Hey, there you go, sister.
Thank you.
I knew you could nail it. So I want to take my part now of helping you create circles and centers as part of feminine leadership in action. What are the words? One day I listed all the C's and I got tired of listing them. Collaborative, connective, communicative, co-creation. All of these words build the SOAR vision, and then more C's, building circles and centers. And so people hear me say this, and I actually have a wonderful screen share in just a moment that I'm going to share with you. Oh, I love it when tech works. I just have to pinch myself. Okay. So these are the things that I have been working with for many years now. And funny, but I don't think we need to buy a big center in France anymore. I think we're doing this all in the etheric over the internet and connectivity. SOAR circles and centers, templates for building the new paradigm through new structures, the feminine way. That's the goal of SOAR, to share and grow through the circles and centers using three modalities: the arts, sustainable living principles, and leadership opportunities and leadership support. So let's talk about circles. Right now, women are isolated. They have these spiritual experiences. I heard someone, their family even put them in a psychiatry unit when they said they had an alien visitation. And in the future, that won't be so, but it's a place to share our feelings, ideas, and visions in a safe place. Why? Because you're in a resonant circle and these people at your level of development. You can be witnessed and honored as a change agent, have deep support, and create new outcomes together. It's no accident that the whole design for the planet is actually the flower of life. Imagine that you and your voice are holding a vortex in one of those circles, but actually it overlaps in someone else's circle. So Sahar's standing in the middle of one of those. I'm standing in one of the middle, but we collaborate and strengthen and support each other, all raising our vibration and connectivity. So my sister's a therapist. She says, Jan, this is great, but people don't know what you mean when you say start a circle. So essentially, you're going to identify women that you like, you resonate with, and you invite them. You can set a get acquainted time with each potential member. 3 to 9 members is ideal. Set a weekly or monthly time to meet for 1 hour or so. I recently took 2 complete strangers who I felt would benefit, and I know they're on the call today, and I might bring them up later if it works. One is driving, but the other one will be able to speak up. And I put them together, and I went on the first Zoom, and I laid this out, and they have become the fastest friends and support team. And I see that their energy is expanding to invite other people as well. So how to create these SOAR centers. The template for a powerful meeting is to have a welcome, usually by the leader, then a deep sharing, which is timed, loosely timed. In the group that I have created, I call it the council. If someone just says a little bit, they say, I donate my time to the group, because often a person is suffering. We then find the connections everyone shares. We find the connection with that, and we drop into a meditation for relief, better outcomes, and more clarity. It is not a it's very therapeutic, but it's not a therapy group. So we keep the focus on being a positive witness growth with respectful boundaries. We don't give advice. We don't need know-it-alls. We just want witnessed. We don't fix each other. We don't suddenly turn the group into, well, let's all pray for you specifically because you're a mess this week. We truly just supportive listening. And guess what? The next week, somebody else is on the hot seat. So it would become a therapy group if we didn't keep those boundaries. During the meditation part, drop into a sacred space, take a breath, whatever you choose. We take turns leading on our meditation to build our leadership ability. We bring our personal and global intentions for good outcomes into the meditation, and we use sound and ritual and breathing to drop into a soul space. I specifically use the Be the Light process that I've used for years. It's a 3-step process. All you have to do is email me, and I'll send you a card and also hook you up to a YouTube so you can do it right along with me. It is a very simple, very profound way to drop into that meditative space. So a woman who creates a group has a resonance and a magnetism that attracted other people in that kind of resonate with her energetic field and intention. So look over on the left, that you're creating this group. You hold the maypole. Then you attract other women that come in that enhance, but do not try to take your place in the middle in the maypole. Often women come into groups and they feel kind of, oh, gee, I wish I had this group, and they try to be smarty pants and they kind of push the leader off of the platform instead of enhancing and saying, would you like to sit in my center in this moment and teach or lead the meditation? And then you retake your space. It is communication, it is boundaries, it is integrity and respectful. And this is how we create the new paradigm over on the right. The new paradigm is each of us standing in our leadership power, being asked to come and stand in other people's circle, and then holding our own circle powerfully. This is our council one morning in OT. And we have 7. And guess what? Sometimes only 3 come. And it's so powerful because Spirit is called those beings to come that day to share and work through a specific holding pattern that women have carried as an archetype that we heal through us. We are circuit boards volunteer surrogates for the clearing of long time stuck, unaligned energies through the feminine, and we are bringing through very high vibrations to clear it out. So we're free. So we are free and feel safe in that freedom. Support circles do this and more. Okay, so we're going to move on to, and all of this is at the Facebook SOAR, Voice of Truth Initiative. I've created templates there. They're called units. All you have to do is go there, make a copy. If you see anything on this screen, go ahead and do a screenshot. How to create a SOAR center? Well, first of all, it doesn't have to be a center. It could just be an extra bedroom in your house, or it could be a large retreat center that you and your husband have been running for 20 years. You take people in and you have an exchange that you get to steer. Someone has resonated and wants to come spend time with you. You set the price, the when, everything works for you and the person. You're sharing your life experience through arts, culture, food, however you want to set it up. You might provide a class, education, or event. It is a sacred, safe, sane experience in an ever chaotic world. So I seem to have a little stuckaroo problem here. Let's see. I can do that. There we go. The idea is to encourage visitations and exchanges and ultimately more affordable, supportive, communal living situations. Because as women meet each other and they're finding their resources and social financial systems aren't meeting their needs, money goes further when you are sharing with others, and not everybody has to own the lawnmower. There can be communal kitchens. This is how indigenous people lived in sustainable ways. So I'm beginning to list, make a list, compiling here on my website. I have a web page dedicated and has information on there of how to, it's Sound and Light, healingarts.com. And before we end, I'll put some more links there. But you can start pulling together. Do I want a SOAR woman to come visit me? And who would I like to go visit? This is like our own little travel agent of a very high vibrational field. So think about this. You are creating a supportive circle. Maybe you've made a center for your home. Now think about how you can form and implant yourself in the world and in other people's minds, that you have mastery over a specific gift that you are courageously stepping up to share. So this is called creating your own platform or home. And I put this in here because some of you are right in the middle. You take your gifts, you've learned mastery, you are claiming that you are a master or just about a master at this, and SpaghettiOs. Okay. So you're going to be offering classes and events as an advisor. So eventually I'm going to create a SOAR directory. But guess what? I personally don't want to do that since we're better together. I'm going to have someone else step up who likes doing that. And I do see the SOAR, as founder of a SOAR, that I am a hub of exchange and facilitation, but I'm not the end all. I'm asking for other people to take pieces of this work in their hands and work with it. This was created with Santon de la Vie and Karen Jackson. And we got together and we said, well, what is our role as women, as transitional agents from the old to the new paradigm? We are builders of the new paradigm, leadership, healing, art, sustainable living. We are the bridge builders, the meters, the greeters, transition teams. And I know that each of you has a role and a gift that fits into this model So my role is a cheerleader to help you start thinking about these new structures if they resonate with you. So when there's a center exchange, you're pretty much just being yourself, doing what you do. Activities, make up. You should taste Sahar's Palestinian cooking. Man, does it just is like home, baby. It just the spices and and she's invited us over in her groups in her home, and we know her heart. Then if you sing a culture's music, you can never have negative thoughts about those people once you sing their music. So these are different ways we can have these exchanges. And here's a delightful woman, Sarah Boyd. Sarah, I hope you're on the call today, who's created a retreat center. And we've been in communication for years, and I just interviewed her. And her center is around music and tone and playing the lyre. It's in Brittany, France, ladies. All right, let's get a list. Let's sign up after the pandemic and go. She has beautiful accommodations. And she began music at age 50. So there you go. So this plan came to me as a vision about a decade ago, and SOAR is a bigger part of the reclaiming of planet Earth by benevolent beings. So we women are really performing an important role here. So watch a Facebook page, updates, charts, interviews. Keep in touch. I'll be interviewing more, lots of different things, resources like this to help you just keep thinking and learning and joining in, and there'll be educations. For years, I did circles in Marin County. It was really fabulous with amazing women, and that was the preparation of meeting, aligning, expanding our experiences and consciousness. We have fun and create. And all of this is a new feminine model, a new feminine model. So I believe we're at the end of this. Oh, over the years, I've made so many charts just to prove it can happen. You know, the left brain part. And there are some of the amazing women that I've gotten to know and work with. There we go. Okay, SOAR Women's Leadership. I'm going to stop the share now and come back. And we are now ready to introduce Consuelo. Flew to the floor. All that soaring, it's just the introductory sheet. So go ahead and give Consuelo the spotlight. She's so sparkly and beautiful. I want to introduce Consuelo Luz. She lives in New Mexico. She is a vocal alchemist, an intuitive coach, a grandma like me, an ambassador, I can't say it. I made up this word. An ambassadress, a feminine ambassador towards political and social justice. She is on public stages all the time in New Mexico singing for social justice in all different languages. Please welcome Consuelo Luz.
Thank you. I'm just thrilled to be here, Jen, after all these years. It's just wonderful, the work you've been doing, and you finally came out with it in this big way. I really appreciate it because we really need this kind of help and coordination and collaboration. So before starting here with my song, I just want to apologize for the sound quality. I'm in the middle of figuring out how, I've gone from live sessions, vocal alchemy sessions, to doing things through Zoom, and I still haven't quite figured out the best sound system. So I worked on it today. I got the best I could, but if you get some distortion, it's, don't, get past it. Because what I learned actually, and because I've been doing Zoom sessions now instead of in physical one-on-one, I thought, oh my gosh, how am I going to do that? Oh no, I'm going to lose so much without the physical presence. But it hasn't been that way. It's actually been an amazing kind of realization of how deeply we are connected beyond our physical presence. And I think you were mentioning that, Jan, right? That this kind of imposed Zoom digital communication thing has actually opened up a kind of a more acceptance and understanding of how we are connected on these other levels.
Etherically.
I mean, who has experienced that lately? Like with suddenly forced to do Zoom and finding that actually the connection is more powerful in some ways.
Yes, deeper.
It's deeper because we're not distracted by the usual physical stuff that's going on in the room. So then I then made peace with the fact that the sound, I'm a performer and sound quality means a lot to me. So
you know what Sahar says? Don't let perfection get in the way of possibility.
Thank you. Yeah, I need that all the time. I'm a perfectionist. So, but when I realized that actually I was making this deeper and higher connection, the quality of the sound really didn't matter.
Correct.
And it was secondary.
Yes.
Because the first power or the communication was on this other level. It was not dependent on the music being perfect. And in a way, it kind of helped in a way to not put your attention on the music, but put your attention on this ability to connect in this other way.
We cannot wait for perfect. No.
So,
what did you bring to sing today? I can't wait.
This is a charango. This is an instrument from South America, from the Andes. I grew up in Peru. So the Andes go through Bolivia, Peru, Ecuador, Chile, and Argentina. My mother and her family are from Chile, and I grew up in Peru, so I have a definite resonance. I found my first charango in a little hole in the wall in Cusco, and was just enraptured because, and I would just want to share this before going into the song, I find that the charango is a unifier between the heavens and the earth. So it has a sound that can be very indigenous feeling. It feels like you're in a village in the mountains of Peru, right? And then it has this angelic quality. So I find that the songs that I started writing here were about joining the heavens with the earth. And that's, I just wanted to explain why I love this little, and besides it's really small, I can carry it around really easily. So I'm going to sing you a song that I wrote on a vision quest. And actually I want to, Marla, you brought that poem that you read, had the element of water in it and stones. And this song has that as well, because the song is about connecting us to our mother, to the earth, to the feminine energy that we are on in this dimension. We can't ignore it. We are here for a reason. We're not flying through the cosmos. And so we have to connect, and we have to realize that we are the water, and we are the earth, and we are the mother. And so this is what this song's about. It's mostly in English, so you'll get it, the meaning. Because we can't really rise up before we go down. Oh, and I do want to add something. Oh, there. See, the sound system is weird, but forgive me. I'm going to sing the song that has this words, it's like a poem put to music, and then I'm going to go into a little vocal alchemy at the end, so you can get a kind of an idea of what that is. For me, vocal alchemy is a practice that I use to open myself up, and Jan does this too, and many others, I'm sure, to open up to wordless sounds and melodies that come through. And I find, the purpose behind this is wherever these messages or words or strange languages are coming from, it doesn't really matter, because the purpose is to bypass the conscious mind. Because we're so full, our conscious mind is so full of belief systems and words and meanings. And so we're so trapped in that I find that by doing the vocal alchemy, it releases all that and opens me up to
I'm ready.
Deeper connections with the multidimensional. So I will do that at the end, and then I'm going to go into some humming, which I wish you to all join me in, because humming is the greatest simple exercise that we can do every day to really soothe us, to connect to the feminine energy. So when I start humming, please join in. Song is called Home. Where the wind begins and the grass is invented, where deep molecules dream and spin the dancing filaments of our cells, where stones talk and the embrace of gravity and the ancient language of birds call us home. Ima, mother, I am you. Madre, yo soy tú. You call me back to all that's true. Where plants sing and heal our confused and tired flesh, and the ecstasy of trees reminds us of the way our lost and crazed bones should be reaching down before going up, and everything is a miracle, and the sand is the same as the stars, and the jaguar devours our hearts so that we can understand the heart of the earth. Adama, earth, I am you. Tierra, yo soy tú. You call me back to all that's true. Womb of iron crystal core fire, burning and melting our father's desire. His galactic dream seeds into beauty, impossible to comprehend. Love that creates worlds and destroys them, only to create new ones, unending in their sacred mystery. We breathe and wonder at ourselves. What else were we created for than to love and tell the story of that love, so that the spinning threads of life can keep on weaving new beauty, new stories, new love that is as old as water before water became water, and as young as the river that is not far from here. The river that is here in our hearts, joining one to another, running water. I love you. Ahora yo soy tú. You call me back to all that's true. You call me back to all that's true. Moving to Trioy, Aliralea Satea, Calamantri Calevadea, Erarante, Warahe, Manate, Ambita, Letaratiam, Essinao, Yanade, Adelakiama. Unyantia waye hatetane karamaya wayane terai Sirabala tretane, Wayatena, Galatate, Warasitana, Trikada, Asititrana, Kaya, Wanana, Kitena, Iswania, Utishana, Wiratake, Eyamanate, Esinia, Tepane, Esinia, Tepane. Ooh, I can't hear you. Whoops.
Consuelo, thank
There you
you.
are.
We are all in the dreamy space of love with this, and thank you for joining us today. Be sure to put your contact information over in the chat. And we now have everyone in gallery view, so go ahead and press on the upper little ... And you can see, oh my goodness, Karen Helseth, Wendy, Jessica, Andrea, Margaret. Hi, Margaret, Chris, Karen Everett, Miriam, Peggy LaPlante, Christy Michaels. Hi, Sister Martha. Just won 3rd place in a national fiddling contest. Yay. So now we are going to move into our very special guest, and she's going to talk between 10 and 15 minutes about this wonderful download of knowing your own leadership style. So please welcome Sahar Nafal. You can stay in speaker view or on gallery view. It's your choice. Go ahead. Oh, let's unmute you.
All right, hi, here we go. Hello, everyone. This is Sahar Nafal. I would love to start this with a beautiful prayer. It's one of my favorite prayer by Richard Rudd, who is the person who invented the gene keys, for those of you who know the gene keys work. And then I'll dive right into our talk. May love pour through our soul, binding us together as one. May light flower in our hearts, lending us the grace to transform our fear. May warmth radiate in our belly, bringing prosperity to all. May purity shimmer in our bones, filling us with the light of the stars. May kindness resource in our voices, softening the path that lies ahead. May clarity shine through our minds as we lay in the arms of the infinite. May solace abound us in our lives, touching all who we meet. May solace abound in the world, bringing all beings into perfect union. Well, hello, everyone. I want to start by saying thank you so much to my beautiful sister, Jan. Jan and I have known each other for over 10 years, and it's been a dynamic collaboration, deep friendship, understanding, support. We are the ideal collaborator when it comes to leadership. So I just want to say thank you from my heart to yours for being there for me and being the alchemist for my voice. Thank you. Today, I want to share with you something, the new work that I have been sharing, but just quickly so you'll know a little bit about me, I'll just share 1 minute. I have been leading community for the past 15 years. It started in my family room after a really, unhealthy relationship, leaving an unhealthy relationship of 18 years. And I was called to start a small group in my family room. What I didn't know that a few years later, this small group of 6 women became hundreds, and a decade later, there were thousands. So I've been honored to be able to empower and inspire women all over the world. As a community leader, not only did I support other women, begin circles just like what Jen is saying, which I'm not doing anymore, but I also were able to witness women find their voices as Jan was supporting me in finding mine. So today I want to share with you my new work that I'm really excited about. I have been given an assignment from Spirit. Not so long ago, I lived in Illinois, believe it or not, for about 2.5 years. And the beginning of this year, I got a really strong calling to come back to California. I've been in California for 40 years and about 2.5, almost 3 years in Illinois. I come here on 03/03/2020, not knowing exactly why, but I followed my intuition. That's what leaders do, right? I followed my intuition that it's time to go home. And so I did. And I showed up at 222. The plane landed at 222, and I looked it up. It was a new beginning. And boy, was it a new beginning for all of us, right? I know right now a lot of things that are happening, a lot of uncertainty, a lot of fear, a lot of people are not knowing exactly what to do next. And yet for those of us who are light workers, we see the light. Yes, we see the light from the dark tunnel. And this is what we need to follow. And so not so long ago, about a few weeks ago, I got this amazing download of what I need to do next. I still lead my beautiful community of soulful leaders. And that's something that is really dear to my heart. That will add the link later for you to join our group of about 30 to 100 people. But what I was told now, my role is to be of service, just to serve from my heart. So I do gatherings just like Jan does. In addition, I also was told I am need to serve 100 people by giving them what Spirit guided me to do. They're called the soul guidance sessions. And those are sessions that I do in order for me to see exactly where all the people that are called to do these sessions with me, where they're at. So I'll tell you a little bit about that and what I have been seeing. So far, I've done 50 out of the 100, and many have, asked me to continue to work with them. And so overall, the past 2 months, I have conducted over 150 soul guidance sessions. And boy, did I see amazing, incredible things. So Spirit start asking me to take note of where these leaders, primarily I work with light workers who are leaders. And I began to see a pattern. And before I knew it, there were 4 archetypes, and that I'm going to be sharing with you of what I see, what I saw when I do these sessions. But who is a leader? For me, and my experience of a leader is a leader is a woman who just shows up despite of what happened in her life or the circumstances, just like we just recently heard from Marla. She is in a place where she's about to leave, but she's a leader and she showed up today. A leader is a woman who's an innovator, who's always thinking of how she could bring others together, just like Jan. A leader is a woman who has a beautiful voice to share, just like what we heard today. A leader is somebody who is calling in abundance from a place of the feminine. A leader is a woman who is serving and creating change in people right now. A leader is somebody who is serving and creating change in organizations, in communities, in society, in corporation, politics, social justice, and so on. This is who a leader is. And mostly a leader is somebody who is leading from her soul, to enable for her to create change in the world. So here are the 4 archetypes, soul leadership. And I know I only have about 10 to 15 minutes, so I want to honor my time and just quickly go over them. But I do promise that we'll post them in the notes or maybe later in the Facebook group. That way everybody gets to know who they are. The first one is the hidden leader. And unfortunately, I've been seeing a lot of those. They hide and they come from a place of scarcity. They're uncertain about what's happening next, and a lot of fears coming up for them. And they're praying and saying, this shall pass, this shall pass. And the way I see it is when I do a little prayer and we do a prayer protection, I ask for me to go and I do a body scan. And when I do a body scan, I see images. And the beautiful thing, not only do I see images, but afterwards what Spirit gives me is a formula for me to give the people that I'm seeing this image for in order for me to help them. And these are all done complimentary, just come from a place of service. That's what I'm doing right now. That's the space that I'm in right now, is just serving humanity, especially light workers who are here to create change on earth. So the hidden leader is saying, this shall pass, and they're hiding. There are two kinds. The one that are hiding because of fear, the other one that is hiding, that's going inwards because they need to rebirth something brand new. And so the images I typically see with the hidden leader are hiding in glass boxes, in wooden boxes. Today I saw somebody who is hiding in black wax all over her body. I see them in cardboards. I see them zipped up in bags. I see them in the forest. Today I also did a session where there was a woman that was hiding in a forest. And it depends on who they are and their, whatever it is, the image just shows up. And so here's the formula that Spirit is giving me. If you are a hidden leader and you relate to this, and you're just waiting and you're stuck and you're stagnant, just know that doing that is not serving you, nor is it serving humanity. Nor is it serving humanity. So the formula Spirit is giving me is, these formulas are things that we all have in our toolbox, like clearing their etheric bodies or their energy bodies, you know, detoxing, removing unwanted attachment, making sure they're protecting themselves when they're all out and about, because all of us are empaths here. They're also saying to sage the house all the time, going in nature and hugging trees, you know, practicing on how to meditate regularly and expanding their hearts. And so these are some of the formulas that are given to a hidden leader. Then the next one is, I must work hard leader. This leader comes from a place of the masculine. She's doing everything that she can from the old way of doing things. And I know some of you know who you are. In fact, I was one of those, and John could attest to this. I worked extremely hard. I didn't know exactly what and where, but I knew I had to work very hard. Now I became successful, but I hit a wall. And those of you who got used to working hard, just know that you don't have to do that anymore. You really don't have to do that anymore. It's not, again, not serving you, nor is it serving any of your people or your clients. You keep reverting back to the old way of doing things, the old formulas. At this point, as we're shifting and changing and elevating, these formulas are not going to be working anymore. Trust me, I've tried it. The images I typically see is they're standing in a pedestal and they're going in circles and circles and circles. In fact, today, one of the one of the people that I did a session for, I've been averaging like 2 to 3 sessions a day. It's been fabulous. She actually, I saw her in a carousel of the teapot carousel, and there were 4 cups, and she kept going from one cup to another, which is the projects that came up for her, and while the carousel was going in circle. And she said she related so well to it. And Spirit said to her that there are 4 different things that she's working on. And she's launching a book. She's working on as a consultant. She's managing her husband's relationship. She's managing her son who's going to school from home, you know, homeschooling. And these are the 4 things that she's going in circles. So Spirit gave her a formula, and the formula was not only just to slow down, of course, to meditate, to expand her heart with love, to do self-care, to create new rituals for herself, to spend more intentional time in nature. She loves to jog and run. I said, no, you get to walk, go hug some trees, ground yourself, walk on earth. Mother Gaia needs to ground you, you know, and drinking herbal tea in the morning. Those are the formulas that they gave her to slow down. And so that is the working hard leader. And then we have the third one, one of my favorite one, is the wise leader. They are very clear about their teachings, their messages, their leadership role, but yet there is another curious level. There's a curiosity of there's something more. And I'll give you the perfect example is for Jen, when I did this session with her. It was just the perfect scenario for the wise leader. She's very clear about her teachings and creating these beautiful circles. You know, she is a leader, a true leader. She was curious about what is next, and look what it unfolded for her. I'm not giving myself any credit, but what Spirit saw, that there's something more. And they show up as beautiful flowers, by the way, as beautiful, anything to do with earth. They could be a beautiful animal or a flower or a tree. I see that all the time. And they're expanding and they're growing, because plants do grow and expand. Flowers do open up. I believe I told her that her flower needs to open up so the fragrance could be smelled from more people all over the world, if I recall. So those are the formulas. The formulas for the wise leader is just to follow her intuition, do what she feels is right, raising her vibration, releasing old ways of doing things and stepping more in the feminine, doing some family entanglement, honoring her family, her family and rituals. So those are some of the things, the formulas. And then the last but not least is the evolved leader. Evolved leader is somebody who's surrendering to everything. They have done it all. They just show up. I have a dear cousin. Her name is Maha. She's a perfect example, archetype of evolved leader. She is a spiritual being who's done all her work, and just being in her presence is enough for you to know that transformation is happening. She's a beautiful, she channels, she's actually a trans medium. And any given time I'm in her circle or in her space, just things I feel right. And they show up as angels in my visions when I scan them. They show up as angels that are creating change just by being. And I believe in my heart as we're going forth in the way we're shifting and changing, all of us, our goal is to be the evolved leader, the one that does nothing but be. And everything that we need shows up. And all the people that we need to support show up as well. And so those are the 4 archetypes that have been downloaded just a few weeks ago. And I just wanted to share them with you and let you know that whichever one you resonate to, please write them in the comments. And as an amazing friend of Jen, whom I love so much, I would want to offer each and every one of you unconditionally a 25-minute soul leader session. Okay, I would soul guidance session. I would be more than honored to support you. Maybe we could tap into and see exactly where you are, and have spirit give you a beautiful, a formula in which you're able to get out. And I tell you, I've been getting emails, texts, messages from people telling me the shifts that are happening within just that half an hour that I spent with them. So it's been such an honor for me as a leader to be able to serve in that way. And one more thing, I want to tell you that each and every one of you that are here are leaders, whether you are hiding or working hard or evolved, or somebody who is being who you are, evolved leader or wise leader. Just know the universe right now needs us more than any other time. Jan had said that, and every single one of you have said that. Don't be selfish. It is time for you to show up and stop hiding, to stop working hard, and just know that you are here for a reason. Thank you so much, my dear sister Jan. I hope I was on time. And if anybody has any questions, and I will go ahead and leave the link to my calendar in order for you to schedule your session. And again, these are unconditional. These are not enrollment process, just for me to give. The universe is taking care of me in many ways. Thank you so much.
Thank
you.
Much
love to all.
Thank you, Sahar. You are always so enlightening and always a little bit ahead of the crowd too. So she's offering these sessions. I had one, I painted it, I stepped out. And I offer voice release. It's a very profound scientific, spiritual process. And I want to thank Chris Steins, who's here, who's the head of the Women of Wisdom. I often want to call it Women of Worth. Isn't that interesting? Women of Wisdom. And she's allowed me to come to the Seattle conference and do the voice release, which removes fear from your field so you can be that bell of change, inspiring trust. So now we've come to maybe the most important part where different people can share. Anouk Sophia had asked to hold a sharing chair, but she's in Egypt and we realize she's asleep right now. What we are needing to get things moving, even more accelerating, is to learn to still our mind. And she's created a program you can find on Facebook. It's called the 108 Days Project. The 108 Days Project for 1 minute every day of stillness, where the intention for the higher visions can come through us and galvanize us even stronger. So what I decided to do now, we've been sitting a bit, we're going to have 1 minute of music, and then Lynn is going to tell you how to share and how she'll bring you forth. And Elise Cheval has chair number 2, so she'll be sharing first, and then it will be open. And I'd like to welcome, of course, I call it the SOAR song by Kimberly Bass, who's here with us today. And Lynn's going to put that music on. We're going to take just a little stretch break, and you're going to be inspired to come on the question, the chat, but mainly ask to come on and say who you are, where you live, and what's happening and what you need. But we have 10 minutes, so that means don't go over 1 or 2 minutes because we won't get everybody in. Okay, Lynn, thanks for putting that music on. I'm going to have a sip of water and stretch. Here we go. Sacred Ground music by Kimberly Bass. Yay! Here it comes. Sacred Ground. Just take a nice stretch break. Move your shoulders. That was great, Sahar.
Thank you.
Consuelo, your music was so gorgeous. And Marla, you're so glad to see Karen Everett is here. We work together in Point Richmond as collaborators with our wonderful gratitude. Was doing Be the Light work, and it was so great. So great to see all your faces here. Okay, so we're gonna, I don't hear the music. Here's to hear. Maybe there's a little bit of a blip there. So I'm gonna hand it over to Lynn Sagan now to describe the exact process for you to step up to the sharing seat. Then in about 10, 12 minutes, we're going to hand it over to Katie for the Ma toning. All right, Lynn, go ahead and give them instructions.
Hey, it's me. And you'll see if you open up your participant window, there at the bottom, you'll see 2 little heads. And then you'll see an option if you click on the 3 dots, I think, or maybe it's right there, to raise your hand. And so if you have a question, you can raise your hand. And you said Elise was going to go first, correct? Jan?
Elise Cheval, yes.
Yes, okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and unmute Elise, and then we'll spotlight her, and we'll get started.
Hey, Elise, hi.
Hey. Wow,
There you are.
great to have opportunity to share with everybody. See this creature?
Yep.
This is a cockatiel. He's 23 years old and blind, and he plays piano with me. And I love sharing him. And wow, nature is so powerful, right? It supports us. So I thought for today, I would do a reading. I'm a tarot reader. I just started doing that 9 months, 2 weeks and 2 days ago. And I've always been connected to, I don't even know what to call it. I just see it in my mind and the card comes into my hand. I don't even know how it works, but I'm on my 4th book and I'm exploring that. And the reason that I like talking about the tarot to a group of folks is because it's a tool that helps you to resolve anything you're dealing with simply by asking questions and pulling a card. I've been studying, I have now 8 tarot decks, and I've been studying one particular deck by the master artist Dali, Salvador Dali. And the reason I particularly like this is because the book that comes with the deck is written by a wonderful woman named Rachel Pollack. She's just one of the most brilliant people I've ever read. She's extremely well-read in the area of probably psychology, but her view is so positive, and Dali's paintings for the tarot cards are completely in reverse of the traditional tarot by the Rider-Waite deck.
So Elise?
Yeah.
Elise, are you going to pull some cards for us?
I already did, but I wanted.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah,
I want to respect time for everybody to share. So share the cards.
Yeah, I wanted to say that I shuffle the deck until a card jumps out, and it's very significant when I get the card that jumped out. It's perfect for the group. So I want to share it with you. The first card is this one. Oh, let me put myself on a different screen. I just realized with a virtual video ground, it's not going to work. So let me get that out of there. No virtual ground. How do I do that? Maybe video. Jan, do you know how to turn?
I certainly don't. So we can't see it if
Yes, you go to stop video.
Just stop video?
Well, no, I'm sorry. There's a clicker right next to stop video.
Yeah.
Use virtual background.
Yeah, I don't want that. I just want no background. Is that
You have
better?
to you choose the virtual background and then you click none.
Oh, okay. Let me see if it'll give me none, because it's
Elise?
right now giving me no.
Elise,
Yeah.
let's come back to you in honoring time, and you go ahead and get that set up. Is there anybody else who wants to speak right now? And then we'll come back to your cards. That way.
Yeah, Margaret McMillan would like to speak right now.
Margaret. All right, Elise, we'll let you get that set up. Margaret, welcome. Let's go ahead and spotlight Margaret. And now Margaret is in Yelm. And she was my guest at my center. Margaret, can you get yourself up there on the screen? And Margaret is the master channeler. Hi, Margaret.
Hi.
Welcome.
I am myself still in the process of healing. I think sometimes it takes a while for things to come together. But what I would like to open myself to is that I'm highly intuitive. I'm highly intuitive empath. I also channel one particular being at this point, but I have personal connections with 3 beings from 3 different star systems. And in the recent week or so, the last couple of weeks, I've been on an empath course, taking an empath course with 2 individuals. And one of the things that has actually come out was helping me to also narrow down what is my specialty, so to speak. Now, my gift is to use for anybody who needs or would like some spiritual guidance or understanding. Eventually, I am creating a course myself to eventually do a webinar, and that is regarding divine sexuality, sacred bodies. This is where I find that is where what I came in to actually help enlighten and bring light to on this planet, because it is been so distorted by humanity here. So that is what I am doing at this point, is working on that. There's no definite.
Margaret, that is a wonderful, important topic, sexuality. So please put over on the side how people can contact you, and you can stay in resonance with them with platform moving forward with. I love your colorful outfit. And thanks for speaking up today. Okay, Elise, let's take a look at your cards. We just have 2 minutes, Elise.
Got it.
Here we go. We're going to spotlight Elise. Back to Elise. Perfect.
So I figured out. Thank you for telling me how to do that. So I was shuffling, and this one fell out. And the message for everyone is this is called a spiritual opening. And what it is you see we have 3 cups down and 2 up. And it really comes to perspective. Tarot is all about your perspective. So you can see like the glass half empty or half full. And the message is that this lovely lady, she acknowledges this aspect of herself that maybe, people call the shadow. I don't necessarily believe in that. And passes through this archway. And the directive is to take a bath. How many people really enjoy a good soak with some nice mineral salts? Am I right? Isn't that the best? That's the total best way to just cleanse yourself in the morning. Let that water just hit you and just soak. And then, hey, ladies, I always pull 3 cards. This was the second one. This is the Queen of Pentacles. This lady has got the world by the tail.
Oh, yes.
She's all about entertaining. When you come to her house, she always has her guests leaving with the best food, being treated with the most respect. Usually she's got something in their hand when they walk out that door. But the most important thing is she's so connected to herself that she emanates that love. And then people who are with her, they get that and they want to be that way with themselves too. Now, tarot is an interesting thing, right? Third card, the moon. This is a very confusing card. In fact, it's about confusion. But here's what it is. See that light? The moon. This is the lady light. This is the light that's streaming all over the planet when the sun is reflecting on this. And this message, it looks like the landscape of New York. That's where Dali lived when he painted this card. But the idea is that we're on a path and we have no idea where it's going to end. And we stay on it and we just keep walking and we will end up exactly where we already are. Isn't that cool? We just keep walking and we think we're never going to get there. And if we remember, Dorothy had the red shoes, didn't she? She had the little clicking shoes. They were always there. All she had to do was click those shoes and she was home. So that's the journey.
Thank you so much, Elise. That was just perfect for what we're doing today. And I love Elise. She's just the most creative, forward-moving person with so many different careers. And a little backstory, I interviewed her. She says, Jan, don't let me talk too long. Just kind of rein me. She's a talker, and she's a great tarot reader. Fabulous. So be sure and put your information on
And it's free. I don't get any money for this. This is my gift to spirit.
She's stepping on her platform and sharing. So here we are. Now I'm her mother, so I could say I saved the best for last. But I'd like to bring in spotlight, please, Katie Cercone. She is my middle child, and she carries the divine feminine so powerfully. And she is going to lead us with a divine feminine toning. Ma.
Okay, so yes, hello everyone. My name's Katie, and I've been enjoying listening to everyone, and thank you, Mom, for inviting me. This is a mantra from Kundalini Yoga, just something I practice very deeply. And it's a very simple mantra we can all relate to in all cultures. It's Ma. So we think of it as if we're calling out to the universal mother as if we were her child. You can think of this as the earth mother and also the female god, the cosmos. And yeah, so there's also a mudra that goes with it, which is creating a sacred chalice at the heart center. So if you all will join me in just bringing the palms together, cupping the palms of the hands, and we'll be chanting Ma. So yeah, it's a continuous Ma. Take a breath when you need to. I'll be chanting, and you can sing with me on that pitch or just choose your own. It could be a low hum, it could be a high, clear bell like Ma. But the idea is to just really surrender to the sounds and let it pool in the palms of your hands. We'll just do it for a couple moments. So sitting up tall, we could close our eyes and take a deep breath in. Let's take one more deep breath in. You can just complete this meditation by lifting up your chalice where we pulled the sound like liquid love and light. And then just let it drip, pour it over your crown chakra and release your hands down, just sitting in the space we've created, chanting, calling out to the Universal Mother, taking a few long, deep breaths. Thank you. Satnam.
Namaste, Katie. We are drawing our circle to a close, knowing that we have sent streamers of divine feminine intention and connectivity through the frequencies of our empowered voices and presence. I thank each one of you that came today, and we will cross-pollinate and continue this work and connect with me on the Facebook SOAR Voice of Truth Initiative, and we'll stay connected. So thank you so much. I thank Sahar, I thank Marla and Consuelo and Elise and Katie. Thank you so much for joining us today. Forgot to say thank you, Christy Michaels, major leader in the Divine Feminine. So lovely to see you here today. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jen.
Thank you. So we're going to close now, and Lynn's going to put up a beautiful song. How about Kimberly's Sacred Ground, Lynn? Yeah. All right. There we go. Thank you so much for joining us. Just been a lovely time together of growth and connection. Everybody's saying thank you.